The blues has remained the music of suffering and hardship for many decades, and anyone who has ever felt the emotions of sadness, anger, or determination can aptly relate to the blues. Anyone who needs to vent about the struggles of life can do so through the blues, and with a few simple steps and some musical ability, playing the blues becomes easy. To learn the blues, or any music for that matter, the most essential component, the form, must come first. For the blues, it remains very simple, with only a few digressions from the original. The standard chord progression of a 12-bar blues in any key, for this demonstration, the key of C, consists of the one chord, or root, for 8 measures, depicted here, followed by the 4 chord, or 4th note of the major scale in the same key as the song, depicted here, for 4 measures. After this comes the turnaround, usually the most embellished and emphasized piece of the form. There exist many different types of turnarounds, however 2 of them appear far more often than the rest, the 5-4-1 and the 2-5-1. The 5-4-1 exists as a standard for most straight traditional blues, finishing the form with the 5 chord, or the 5th note of the major scale, depicted here, for 1 measure, followed by the 4 for 1 measure, then leading back to the 1 for 2 measures. The 2-5-1 takes a more modern, jazzy angle on the turnaround, with the 2 chord, played for 1 measure, depicted here. Then the 5 for 1 measure, and yet again returning to the 1 to finish off the form. However, just knowing the form of the blues won't cut it, as the blues presents a much deeper meaning than just a basic sound and instrumental harmonies. The lyrics of the song can often convey more of the spirit of the blues than the instruments playing it. Writing lyrics to a blues, whether it is a slow blues, shuffle, or big band swing, presents itself as simple. The lyrics should convey whatever the heart of the person writing is heavy with. A blues can have any meaning, whether it be sorrow, grief, anger, lust, heartbreak, etc. The only limit exists in the mind of the composer.
Well, it's flooding down in Texas. All the telephone lines are down. Well, it's flooding down in Texas. All the telephone lines are down. Well, I've been trying to call my baby, Lord, and I can't hear a single sound. Well, dark clouds keep rolling, man, and I'm standing out in the rain. Well, dark clouds keep rolling,
While the instrumental and vocal elements of our blues piece are important, they simply cannot have no meaning behind them. The blues must have a passion and intensity behind it, the soul of the blues. Artists such as Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, and B.B. King have captured this spirit and made it their own, displaying the true individuality and universal accessibility of the blues. Each of these artists have taken the standard, old reliable blues and matched it with their own sound and perspective, while the soul and intensity of each note rings true in all of their works. There is a reason why all of these artists have gone down in blues history, and that reason allows anyone's perspective and take on the blues to do so as well. While this element of the blues may only pertain to players of an instrument, most forward in this case the guitar, it still happens to be a very prominent and soulful part of any blues tune. The instrumental solo, described in this moment as the guitar solo, can take on the form of the essential climax of any blues. The highest amount of emotion and tension in a blues generally takes place during the solo, so it would make sense to pay attention to detail in playing it. However, a screeching high bend followed by some lightning-fast pentatonic fingerwork doesn't always bring out the best that a solo can offer. Ideally, a solo starts off with some mellow yet soulful lines on the lower strings to somewhat introduce the audience to the solo, and not to let the true talent and intensity of the guitarist shine through quite yet. Following this, the solo should take a few courses to experiment with some slightly faster lines and runs in the middle register of the key, maybe even pop over to a few major key licks to spice things up a little. After these courses comes the main turning point of the solo, the climax. The climax is ideally brought upon by playing a fast yet impressive and rhythmic trill or lick repeatedly throughout the turnaround to build tension, followed immediately by a few screaming, intense, all hell breaks loose bends and lines in the upper register of the key that take place right as the next chorus begins. After these, many fast, ripping, constantly varying lines played with the right rhythmic timing bring the most soul and emotion to the struggle conveyed by the blues itself. A guitarist can even have a little fun and alternate between playing lines in the original lower octave of the key and playing some same or different lines in the octave above, allowing for some shrieking high notes rich with the spirit of suffering and hardship. After these few incredibly intense moments, the solo should end quickly with a turnaround lick that provides adequate closure and a segue into the final verse and ending of the tune. by a band of 50 players or just a tight blues trio must contain form, powerful lyrics, soul, and a good solo in order to properly and most majestically convey its message. To quote Albert King, one of the most famous and most skilled blues artists of all time, "The blues don't change."